I'm Hailey.
I'm Sean.
And welcome to Hailey Hates Everything.
I pick a surprise topic.
And I get high and opinionated so we can discuss it together.
So grab a snack and hang out with us for
Hailey Hates Everything.
Hello, and welcome to Hailey Hates Everything. This is Sean, the co-host. And of course, her name's on the podcast. It's Hailey.
Zoink, Scoob! I don't know. I thought that would be a fun one to come in with today. But hello, friends and fellow haters. It's me, Hailey, and I'm happy to be here. Welcome back to the first full episode of Season 3.
Bringing the hates.
Bringing the hates. That could be like the tagline on the t-shirt, right? Hailey hates everything. Bringing the hates.
We could...
What was that? Bring the noise. Bring down the... Oh, that's a Five song. Y'all wouldn't know that. Sorry. Well, I think that's a Five song. If y'all don't know, Five's a British boy band who is awesome. Jay Brown has the flow. You gotta look up some stuff by Five. They do count in a lot of the songs.
Like 1 all the way to 5.
Yeah, they always go up to 5. They usually don't go up higher than that. There might be one song where they go a little higher. But anyway, it's neither here nor there because I just now realized I think that song that I'm thinking of is actually NSYNC and not 5.
God damn it.
I know.
God.
I know. Look, I am a queen of boy bands, but sometimes I get it wrong. I am human, even though I am as great as I am.
See, I figured we needed to get Ving Rhames from the Arby's commercials so he can go, "We've got the hate."
Oh, that'd be great.
And so we got the meat.
I get it. Yeah, I'm down with that. If he wants to do that, yeah, let's get him. Let's get him.
He probably can't do it because of legal reasons or something, you know.
Why? Nobody's getting paid. We're not getting paid. This is free. We're not getting paid. No ads. We do, however, have the ability for you to donate, should you choose to do that. You can find those links wherever links find you. And by that I mean in the description box of wherever you're looking at this or listening to this, actually, because it's a fucking podcast. Hello, Hailey. I'm high. This is how this works. I'm flying in the air. I'm just a cute little kite shaped like a precious hippopotamus with wings. That's what I want my kite to look like.
Nice.
But with flowing unicorn metallic hair. A hippopotamus with wings and metallic hair.
This kite would be weighed down by rhinestones. And...
You know what? Never mind. I don't want to fly. I just want to lay on the beach. Okay? Looking cute as fuck and all my dripping with rhinestones, like a rhinestone maxi dress. I want to look like the Little Mermaid coming out of the water at the end of the movie where her dress is completely sparkling.
Yeah.
That's what I want to look like on the beach instead of flying around.
Okay.
Just like the most glamorous fucking mermaid you've ever seen walk out of the ocean and into your life. Curves for days. Okay? Small up top, but a big old booty. That's what she looked like. In a rhinestone dress. Bring it to life, universe. I'm curious to know what kind of topic you've got.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know you have a list, obviously. And if anybody's new here, if they're just now joining us, this is how this works. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I'm high as fuck. And I've just got to hope that Sean has done his part and picked a topic that stays true to what I hate, but is also entertaining to talk about. Not everything I hate is going to be fun to talk about. So there's so many, you guys, there's so many things behind the scenes that goes into the research. I imagine. I don't do it. That's Sean's job. So, Sean, what are we talking about?
Well, today, you're definitely familiar with it.
Okay.
I would say you hate it.
Well, Jesus, I would hope so. That's the whole fucking point. So if you picked something I didn't hate, which sometimes you do, we like to change it up here. We're not sticking to this recipe of disaster. We're changing it up now and then. So I know about it and I hate it.
Yep. And I think it also helps that it's something that starts with a hashtag. Which means you're going to hate it even more.
This could be anything. Hashtag blessed.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good.
Do you have any other thing you can give me so I can make a guess?
We've watched various videos of this on YouTube.
I don't know.
Hashtag Vanlife.
Oh, hashtag van life. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. All right.
I think van life is, especially during the pandemic, was huge.
People are still doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you can have a nomadic job, if you don't have to be in one place and you have the ability to travel and see a lot of stuff that you wouldn't normally get to see because you're living out of a van now.
In a van down by the river. FYI, one of the things, if you're staying at a national park or something like that, you can't live down by the river because you have to stay at least 200 feet away from any bodies of water.
Why is that? Because of your waste products?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. People still be shitting in the woods and just leaving it there.
Truth.
I've seen toilet paper that nobody buried.
Yep.
Now y'all should do better. Let's make this statement. Y'all should do better. If it is not there when you got there, it shouldn't be there when you leave.
Like toilet paper, you're supposed to take that with you.
Yeah, bring a Ziploc bag. Be fucking prepared, you guys. Be fucking prepared for everything. That's what I do. And this weight on my shoulders is me preparing for every fucking thing. So I know you can prepare for one fucking thing that you do. And if you need to go to the woods, you might need to take a shit. So you better be prepared to shit in the woods, and you better have your stuff, because you need to haul that shit out of there. At least the toilet paper, okay? Do the right thing. Please. Take pictures. Don't take much else. I don't leave stuff. I don't fuck with stuff. Don't graffiti things. Don't stack rocks. Don't fuck with the animals. Don't do any of that. Just chill in nature. Don't blare your Justin Bieber really loud when you're in fucking nature. If I wanted to hear Justin Bieber, I would put on some fucking headphones and listen to him. But guess what? I don't want to hear him. Especially not in fucking Glacier National Park when there are beautiful chipmunks running around all over the ground and birds singing and a beautiful breeze. Don't blast the Justin Bieber. Keep it to yourself. That's what headphones are for, you guys. I hate humans in nature. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. So
van life.
Van life, a lot of the popularity, they'd get these like Sprinter vans, which are kind of like those tall vans.
Oh, like you see for FBI covers?
Yeah.
Like undercover shit?
I see them like delivering stuff and shit like that.
Oh, like an Amazon van?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, kind of like an Amazon van.
An Amazon van.
Yeah.
An FBI van. A newscaster van, maybe.
And they take one of these vans and they either do a conversion themselves where they spend 50 grand plus sometimes.
There's a lot that goes into it, too. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. It really depends on what actual amenities you get that you're able to...
Guess what? Not much, and that's part of the reason I hate it. Because I'm not shitting in a bucket. No, thank you. I'm not showering at the truck stop. I'm not that kind of girl. If you're that kind of girl, great. I'm not saying that that's a shitty way to live, if that's how you live and you like it.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. Again, I just want people to understand that when I hate something, it's not a judgment of you if you like it.
Yeah.
It's just me telling you why I don't like it and trying to be funny about it. That's this whole podcast is about. The sucky part is I can't hear you laugh. So, hey, am I doing my job? Hopefully.
And if you got opinions on why hashtag van life is so great, you can always contact us.
Yeah, if you got pictures of your van, I want to see it.
Truth.
Especially if it's real nice.
Yeah.
And you got that thing. What is it? Would Ja Rule did the car? Who was it? Where he jacked
Exhibit.
up it was...
When he pimped my ride.
Exhibit pimped my ride. Why did I think it was Ja Rule?
I know one of our main introductions to van life is our various trips. Glacier National Park, Redwoods, stuff like that. A lot of van life people have videos about these places. So that's one good thing, is they definitely made a lot of content at national parks and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't have known about that one place at Glacier where we went way the hell out there.
Oh, and we got those Huckleberry Bear claws?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That was worth it.
We wouldn't have known about that without There's a
true.
specific van life couple that
Yeah,
we
there was
saw
a
who did a
van
bunch
life.
of videos around Glacier National Park. So, yeah, big ups to them. One of the things we'll kind of find out here is van life didn't work out for everybody.
Now, I could have told y'all that from jump.
Because most of these vans, it's usually like max like 60 square feet. That's your living area between the two of us, essentially.
Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware. This is why I don't like it. Look, my shoes wouldn't even fit in a space that size.
Yeah, not all your shoes.
I'm joking, but I'm for reals. My shoes would take up half that space because I have them stacked neatly. I have them very organized.
Yeah.
But they would take up a good portion of the back of a minivan,
Yeah,
which is essentially kind of the size of these things.
Let's go through some of the things people love about van life. So,
We're looking at Instagram.
yep, we're looking at literally hashtag van life on Instagram.
Now, see, that one looks like a coach van with the taller top. Is that kind of what you were talking about? That one's expensive. That one looks very nice. Nah, I still ain't shitting in a bucket in that thing. If I had a chauffeur, that's great for a day trip.
Yeah, yeah.
Do I camp? No, I do not. It ain't for me. Will I get up early to go to a natural space? Yeah. I'll get up early. I'll stay late.
Yeah.
We went up to the top of Glacier at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning so we could see the moon and the stars and stuff. I don't mind staying up late, getting up early to do very specific things, but I don't need to stay out there. Humans have taken up too much space for the animals. We don't need to stay out there too.
So, even the top posts for hashtag van life, there's a million posts.
Well, also there's all kinds, because there's this nice coach van. There's this Winnebago type shit, some kind of trailer. There's a old ass minivan that has blacked out windows and matte paint and looks fucked up. There's a school bus. There's all kinds of stuff. It's not just one thing, which is cool. If you want to live the van life, you got options. There's one of
old
those,
VW bus.
Yeah, I was going to say a hippie van, but yeah. Couldn't remember what they're called, but y'all know a hippie van.
Yeah, we have a Honda Element. We saw a video one time of someone a couple who lives in a Honda Element.
This is also a thin privilege thing because there's just not enough space.
Yeah, yeah.
For anyone, really. But then as 2+ size people, there's no way. There is no fucking way. I could see doing this as a young person.
Yeah.
Like late teens, early 20s. You want to see a lot.
True.
You want to do different jobs or do what, I don't know what y'all are doing these days. But you're sleeping on a not comfortable ass bed. You can only do that when you're young. Y'all, guess what? Once you're 40, shit starts fucking up real quick. So get it together. And if you want to be uncomfortable, you better do it while you're young. Also, yeah, shitting in buckets, doing things like that, that's a young people's game. All right? This is craziness. You can only be this crazy when you're young. It only works out decently most of the time when you're young.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of older people who are doing van life because they're on a fixed income.
Y'all,
so
I don't know.
It's
I don't know
a
how.
cheap way to live.
Do they have a memory foam bed?
I don't know.
They got a neck pillow? I'm serious. You got to have a booty pillow. You got to have lumbar spine support, a neck support. You got to stretch. You got to stretch.
Truth.
You got to hydrate. You got to take your vitamins. Well, how are y'all? What's going on? How are you getting your nutrition? Because you know what? A road trip life, not always great for nutrition. You gotta plan it out.
There's definitely some horror stories. I read one where these people were staying at, I don't know, like an RV park type thing. Some lady came over and she's like, "Can you help me? I need some help." They went over there and her whole vehicle was on fire because her stove had ignited something, and basically her whole vehicle just was just burning down. Thankfully, they had a fire extinguisher to put it out. But
well, and that made me think of safety. You're parked out in the middle of nowhere. You're gonna go to sleep. Who knows who's coming up? Yeah. Whenever I go out somewhere in nature where there's no one else around, my first thought, and maybe this is just me being crazy, maybe it's my personality, maybe it's me being a type 6 on the Enneagram. Who knows why? Could be everything. But my first thought is, if someone else is out here and wants to murder me, they will do it and leave my body here and no one will find me. I am not safe here should someone else approach.
And there's a lot of people who do like solo van life, and I tell you what, that seems frightening to me because
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
not just like other people, but like things can go wrong. You can have all kinds of things go wrong with the van. You can get sick. You can get injured. And if you're just all alone, you not necessarily have good cell coverage and stuff. Man, yeah, solo van life, that's a bit frightening. We watched a little 5-minute thing about this guy Bob Wells living your best life in a van.
Yeah, so he is an older gentleman, but he's spry.
Yeah.
And he's been spry his whole life, it sounds, because he grew up in Alaska hiking
Yeah.
and stuff. I get why this guy lives in a van. All right, he got divorced. He was like, oh, fuck, I don't got no money, nowhere to live. Oh, there's a van. I'm going to have to live in that.
Yeah.
I think that might have been more his mindset than what he said was, ooh, I can live in that. Buddy, let's be real. But look, I get why he likes it. He's an outdoorsy guy. He doesn't want to be inside. And he doesn't want to stay in one place. He wants to be in nature. It's a very specific kind of person. I get why they do it.
Yeah.
This guy, I get it. But also, for me, it's the uncertainty. I don't like the instability of not knowing where I'm going to be, not knowing where my money's coming from, not knowing what's going on one day to the next. And also, like, the security of it, as we discussed earlier. I like stability and certainty and knowing for sure. Even when I know intuitively about something, I still like the certainty of knowing for sure. What am I trying to say?
It doesn't offer you the security that you need to have a long-term living situation.
Yeah, I could maybe do it for a week. With that minimal of a space and that minimal of just luxuries like a bathroom, I just, maybe a week I could downgrade my preferences and survive.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it long term. And living that way, to me, is just chaos. To me, that is fucking frightening and chaos and the last thing I want to do.
Yeah.
It's my last resort, living in a van.
Yeah.
Because to me, that is, shit has gone wrong, and this uncertainty and chaos is better than death. To me, that's van life.
Yeah.
So that's frightening to me. That scares me.
Yeah.
And I do love my things. I am a tourist girl. I love my stuff. I love the things that I love. I love my things that I've collected. I like having my things visible where I can see them. I love my artwork. I love my clothes and my shoes and my makeup and all that shit. It's not something that everybody's going to love, but I like having my options and I like having all of my stuff where I can see it. I'm like a little treasure gnome and I just want to see all my preciouses and be able to admire them. I'm a hobbit, but I'm like a fancy hobbit.
Well, in van life, you wouldn't be able to have as many things, but you'd certainly be able to just turn your head and see everything.
It makes me anxious. The idea of having to get rid of stuff that I love in order to fit everything into that small of a space, to just have the necessities. There was a lady in this video saying, you can live with just the necessities, and a lot of people don't know that. And she was praising this guy for making van life more aware.
Accessible,
Yeah, and like showing people how to do it and that kind of thing. But she was saying, you can live with the bare necessities. Yeah, of course you can. But guess why people don't do it? Because it's kind of miserable.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people don't do it. It's nice to not have to live with the bare necessities. A lot of people have to. A lot of people are forced to.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who hashtag van life some of them are forced to do that because, like they said, they've lost their jobs or things have gone wrong in some way. And that I also understand. But it's not because you want to, unless you're a very specific person.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not something I think a lot of people could do long term, unless you're a very specific person.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're supposed to have a community. We're supposed to live in community, and we're supposed to be able to help others and be helped by others and co-regulate in a community with people and have that connection and stuff. And I'm not saying you can't have connections if you're traveling around everywhere. You can meet people, but it's just not quite the same as having a real home-based feeling.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I say that as I feel somewhat of a nomad, having moved 29 times in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't like that feeling. That might be another reason why I hate it, because I had to move so much in my life that I kind of lived that life. We'd had these long-ass road trips where we moved from state to state and kind of had to live in a van for a little bit. I lived in a hotel for 2 months when we moved to South Carolina because we didn't have a house or anything. And there was like syringes behind the dresser and shit. We had to smuggle our dog in because he wasn't allowed in. It was a whole thing. Anyway, so like I've been on the road and I like having a stable base because I never had that as a child. So that's another reason why I don't want to just be going everywhere all the time. I don't want the shell on my back to be all I got.
But you could live at Glacier National Park for like weeks if you wanted to.
Yeah, or I could visit and have a great time and then go back to my house.
With what they're talking about with the video, you know, cost is usually one of the things that people look into. Mm-hmm. How much do you think living van life, what do you think like monthly cost of living for van life is?
Oh, interesting. Is this just for van related things or is this like life, the whole life related things? Food, shelter, shower, whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Everything.
You live in
Gas,
the van life.
Everything.
It's a full month. Yeah.
Okay. $350?
Not that cheap. No.
Okay, see, that's what it looks like to me.
In one of these articles, people can get around for as low as $800 a month. I'm sure there's people who can do it, who are forced to do it for even less. But the hashtag van life type of people can get away with $800. But most of them, it's usually $1,500 to $2,000 a month.
Okay, so you could have an apartment and get a fucking roommate instead of living in a van.
Yeah.
You guys.
But then you're stuck in an apartment. You aren't going to the beach and going to the mountains.
Well, that's why it takes a very specific person. If you're a go all the time, I ask you, what are you running from? Why are you go all the time? Why do you hate being quiet with your... Well, see, here's the other thing. A lot of the time, I think people are running from something. But also, these people, there's a lot of them sort of solo traveling, all the van life people. A lot of them are by themselves. So... do you hate yourself that much, or are you that comfortable with yourself? And like the silence that comes from being in nature. And dude was talking about how he's just intuitively knows nature now. He's been in it so much. So is he just comfortable in nature because he can't have people interactions very well? I mean, that's going to be individual for everybody. Yeah. But then that's what I start to think is what has really driven you to do this life? What is really keeping you in this nomadic life? What is stopping you from having a more stable living situation? Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense?
It sounds like you're just trying to go by the white patriarchy.
Well, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to be very specific. That's why I'm asking questions, though. Yes. Is it could, to me, because I don't like it, because it is a frightening last case scenario, because that is so frightening to me, then that's why I'm like, oh, you must be running from something. That's why you can't stay in one place. what's going on, what's wrong, what's going on. But maybe it's like they just hate people and they want to be left alone and they love being with themselves and their own silence and they can figure shit out on their own. Maybe that's why. And I say to them, I just want to give you a hug because I feel like you shouldn't be out there alone all the time. You need someone to talk to.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they're not running from something, they're running to adventure.
I mean, that's what they tell themselves for sure. And hey, I wish everybody a wonderful adventure. Those are the people who are like, it's not the destination, it's the journey. And I'm still having issues with really coming to terms and accepting that saying. I'm more of, yeah, I want to get to the destination because that's the goal. And it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about life, I'm not in a rush to get to death, okay? I got shit to do. But yeah, things can happen along the journey. It can be useful. It can be educational. It can be helpful. It can be wonderful. But I usually feel like, all right, let's just get to the destination so we can have fun. We can be in one place and have fun
Yeah, yeah.
instead of the chaos of traveling from one point to another. Because again, that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
And I did not like it. Anyway, I guess that's what I'm saying. Again, a very specific type of person. You gotta be prepared mentally for this kind of van life situation.
Yeah. Here are some of the pros for being #vanlife.
Okay.
We already talked about cutting back on expenses.
Yeah, okay.
But I think we can get into some of the upfront costs of these vans.
Uh-oh.
The next one is having the freedom to travel. You can plan wherever you want to go for the most part. I mean, there's people who drive down, they go South America.
Wow.
There's a bunch of people in Europe doing van life. There's people all over.
Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of that kind of freedom.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
This was kind of a little bit cheesy. Being at home wherever you go.
Oh, y'all please.
Getting away from the noise and chaos of the city.
Yeah, that I can see.
Living in a pet-friendly environment.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but also,
Yeah.
who else is pissing on your tire? You, because you don't have a bathroom in your van.
Yeah. True. Adopting a more minimalist lifestyle.
Some people like that. I don't. I want my treasures stacked up like Smaug so I can see them all.
#Smaug life.
You're on to some, that's the title of this. That's the title of this. #Smaug life.
Making new friends.
Here, this is a pro and a con.
Yeah.
One, I don't like people. So that becomes an issue. When I travel someplace, I'm not usually the type of person to start a conversation with anyone. Let's be real. I have social anxiety. But also, I'm not going over and being like, hey, will you tell me this and this and this? I'm trying to get better about asking a local that I come into contact with naturally.
Yeah.
Oh, would you recommend a place to eat? Or is there something I should see? And usually people are really helpful with that. But it's got to be someone I meet naturally. I don't go up to people and start asking those questions.
Yeah.
I'm not really one of those people who like socializes with the locals and all of that stuff because I just don't want to bother anyone. I want to like see the pretty things and stay out of people's hair and just do my own thing. So for me, I just don't think that would be a thing. Like you'd naturally meet people here and there doing stuff, or especially if you're at one of those van campgrounds and everybody's shitting in a bucket outside their van. So you're naturally going to run into people. But it just doesn't make sense to me. But I also see how it would be really interesting, especially if you're a writer or an actor, meeting different people and learning what their whole story is and just all the different kinds of people. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
And in fact, it kind of makes me want to travel around and randomly meet people and write a book about this experience. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah.
Because people are interesting if you give them a chance. Usually we've all got some kind of trauma, some kind of issues, some kind of meat in there that's not like surface level bullshit that everybody thinks is interesting. No, we got to get down to the meat.
Yeah.
The meat on your bones. We got to look at the marrow, and we've got to know who you are in essence. And we can only do that when we like really talk about real shit.
Yeah.
And so I would like to get to know, oh, why do you do that thing that you do? Why do you like that thing that you like? What is it that speaks to you?
Yeah.
Why do you live this way? What's going on with you? Why have you made the choices you made? That to me, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely see some of the advantages, and some of it could be really enjoyable, but also from being a Boy Scout and doing camping, I know the other things you have to deal with. Just you talking about it and like brainstorming, it's, man, if you came up with, I don't know, just like a few kind of like deep questions you could just ask each person you meet and
Just get a little snippet of their life and who they are. I think that's really cool. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you ever followed I think it's called People of New York on Facebook.
mm-mm.
It might have been Facebook. I don't know if they were on other social things.
I've seen people at Walmart.
Yeah, that was a whole nother thing. But People of New York, whoever this was, would meet people in New York and they'd have a picture of them and things about their life. And they'd have this whole story. They'd ask this person their entire life story.
Oh, wow.
And they'd meet these just fucking amazing people. Like this one lady, I think she had been a porn star and all this different, like she had done so many different jobs and things. And
Yeah.
there was another lady who, I can't remember everything, but there's all these just really interesting backstories as to how these people used to live. Like what were they like in their childhood?
Yeah.
How did the things that happened to them affect their life? And like, how did they get to the point where they're at now? And how did they feel about it? And what had they learned in this process of living their lives and having these things happen? It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And just kind of like seeing what the people look like today. And sometimes they would have a picture of them from their younger days and just, wow, look at that person. That's real. Like they really did that. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool. Very interesting.
Huh. Yeah, that's cool. Next one is learning new skills. Potentially it's going to be cooking on a gas stove, vehicle maintenance.
Defending yourself with not a lot of weapons. I
Yeah.
mean, just, normal shit.
They say van life is environment friendly.
See, that's what I was going to ask. Is it really so much more environmentally friendly than just having a small house?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a small home.
Less waste that you're making.
How? Because you just have less shit? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
how are you disposing of your trash? I just have so many questions, really. It's like one of those TV shows where you think you're going to find out the answer to something. Like, what was that one we just watched? The Consultant. I'm not going to give anything away, but guess what? There are more questions. And it's one of those where there are more questions than answers at the end. I still know it's not for me. I'm just curious.
There's one more pro on here, which is a once-in-a-life experience.
Y'all, you can have those.
You're going to have stories.
Naturally.
You're going to have stories. Like, a lot of
Oh,
stories from a
yeah.
compressed amount of time.
If you wanted to travel, you're still going to have stories, even if you just do it for a week versus everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Until this point, I've mostly just seen obnoxious thin white couples in vans.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen I follow a couple of people on Instagram that are travel bloggers and they live in a van. And I also follow another lady in Scotland. Her and her husband sold their house in Scotland. They live in a van and they drive all over Scotland. And so I did get to see her talking about getting their van put together and that whole process to this point. Now they've been living in the van for at least a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
Again, not the lifestyle I want. And they have two ginormous dogs. Two ginormous dogs with long ass legs in a van and two people.
Yeah, that'd be a lot. Before we get into the various cons of living in a van, I figured...
Haven't we done that? This whole podcast is a con about living in a van. But okay, I thought we were going to talk about the upfront money stuff.
Going there. So, we're looking at OutsideVan.com.
Oh my gosh, this is all about vans?
Yep, these are vans I think that they've retrofitted, flipped, whatever, and they're selling them. So
They pimped them out.
Oh yeah, this one is $145,000.
Holy shit!
And that's not far out from what a lot of these end up costing.
Wow.
to get
Once you
everything.
get all the stuff in
Yeah,
them.
everything you need,
Oh
especially if
my
you're getting something that's
gosh.
been like pre-built like this. I'm sure if you're making it yourself, you can cut some corners. You're doing the labor yourself, but still,
That is still a very frustrating part of the sort of bigger issue of all of the sort of real estate bullshit
mm,
is how fucking expensive it is
yeah,
to just have a place to live.
yeah, that's true. I mean, that's one of the things in this market is
I mean,
145,000 for a place to live is a lot
yeah,
less.
what kind of house or apartment are you gonna get for 145,000, like a condo
Yeah,
or something? You can't.
yeah.
That's especially around here. That's not happening. It's insane how expensive everything is.
Woo.
Ooh.
So the one that's 145 is used. It has 42,000 miles on it. So that's one thing
Oh,
also that
okay.
people don't necessarily take into account
Mm-hmm.
is it's not like real estate. The moment you buy one of these pre-built ones, it
Yeah.
depreciates immediately. You're never going
Uh,
to sell it for as much as what you paid for it, especially now with more people getting out of van life. But yeah, so like this brand new one, $254,000.
well, and also, how much is like the maintenance for these things? Is it easy to find someplace that can service a van like these?
These ones are Mercedes-Benz Sprinters. So
So you got to have specific rich people
yeah,
shit to do
getting the
it.
parts for those are going to be more expensive. Service is going to
Mm,
be more expensive. All that kind
yeah.
of
See,
stuff.
I would worry about that too, just like I would worry about the electricity bill for a house.
Yeah,
Do I
yeah.
want to live in a special mansion? Yes, I do. Do I want to pay that electric bill? No, I don't.
I know. I didn't. I haven't looked too much into the insurance for these things,
Oh,
but you'd
yeah.
imagine insurance on a $254,000 vehicle that can be stolen from you fairly easily. You'd imagine the insurance is gonna be a
Shit.
bit much for
Yeah,
that.
I didn't even think about that. God.
Yeah,
Y'all, I got questions. I got questions.
and this one it only sleeps two people still.
Man, if anybody's listening who's a van person, I'd love to chit chat with you about this and ask questions.
Oh, look at the Stargazer one's got like a hidden toilet.
That is a hidden toilet. Now, how? Okay, let me describe to everyone. This is basically like a bathroom counter that has an attached little bathroom dresser where a little tiny toilet is inside of the box. It has a lid that opens, sort of like in an airplane. It's got like this lid that opens and then there's a lid on the toilet that opens. But the toilet's in a box, okay? It's not a toilet shaped box. It's a box shaped box with a toilet inside it. And there is space around the edge of the toilet. Now you're gonna get splinters from those edges of the box. First of all, secondly, how are you cleaning around the toilet inside the box? Because you're really gonna have to try to shove your arm in that little space to clean around there. That's another thing you got to think about is cleaning this shit.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's basically just a bucket toilet.
Oh, like a children's potty chair?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that point or if this toilet actually drains into something. I don't know if they got more details on here.
See, that's the other thing. It's so humiliating to handle your own shit. I don't think anybody really wants to do that. Do you want to handle your own shit?
I just use doggy bags. I just pick it up, bag it.
Okay. That comes with its own set of questions, but I'm not going to ask those right now.
Oh, this one's got a shower.
In a box. What? See, I want to see the shower in its
Oh, this one's got.
situation.
That's a lot what the Sprinter vans are.
Well, I didn't know that. I don't know anything about cars. I didn't know they had a name.
Rooftop solar panels. You got to have solar panels, and you're gonna have various batteries to charge your things. It is a porta potty.
Oh, no
So
thanks.
yeah, that's probably still just basically a bucket shitter. Rear exterior shower.
Oh, so you got to be naked outside.
I think so. It has a removable shower pan.
Shower pan? What are you doing in there?
I guess that's what you stand on. Like you take this pan out and you stand on it, and then it showers on you, so your feet don't get
okay.
dirty. So yeah, these things can be pretty expensive. And there's one here, the only Sir Jason Momoa.
What?
He had a.
Van down by the river?
I think it's down by the beach.
Oh, okay. Well, of course it is. It's Jason Momoa.
He's got this puppy.
What in the hell?
It's like a camper truck
It looks like a utility truck vehicle with a like trailer top thing on. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know one of those things that old people have that are attached to something that they live in when they like go on their retirement trip or whatever? It's like that, but if you were, I don't know, tactical somehow. Do you know what I mean?
It's a tactical camper truck, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a better way to describe it. Shit, Sean, why didn't you help me out?
Did you see what the cost of this was on
No,
there?
I did not. You were scrolling so fast. I don't have
It's right
time.
right below the picture.
Look, I don't have glasses on and it's really small writing. Jason's custom vehicle retails at a whopping 750K. Jason Momoa. What in the hell? What all can it do for 750K?
You'd fuck Jason Momoa in that.
I have complicated feelings about that. One, Jason Momoa, like, do I understand why he's attractive to people? Yes, I do. Do I think he's attractive? Sometimes. But he doesn't call to me like that.
Okay.
He doesn't make me yearn for him in that way.
Okay, I gotcha.
I understand his hotness. I get it. But I don't always agree with it. And it's not really what's my driving force. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather fuck Chris Evans. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
If I had to choose. Would I want to say no to Jason Momoa? No, I really wouldn't. I wouldn't want to say no. That's kind of bragging rights in this world. I might make out with him in that thing. But also, I got to make sure it's clean too. Because if Jason Momoa's been living in there for a while, he's rolling around in the sand. He's jumping in the ocean. I don't know what he's doing. He's cracking pineapples open with his bare hands. I don't know what the fuck Jason Momoa's doing in there. I imagine that thing would be dirty. He's a grown man. Okay, he might be Jason Momoa, but he's a grown-ass man who's rolling around on the beach all day.
Yeah.
That thing's gotta be dirty. No, you need to clean your house before I come over, and especially before I take my panties off. It's gotta be clean. So, we'll see. We'll get to that point where Jason Momoa is like, hey, want to jump in my tactical trailer thing I live in sometimes and have your way with me? And I'd be like, is it clean? You and the vehicle.
How exactly are you cleaning yourself?
Yeah, what's the hygiene like, Jason Momoa? I just gotta know before I say yes.
He's probably just like surfing, and that's probably like his shower.
Yeah, I'm sure the sun just
Yeah.
crisps off any kind of anything and just leaves him with this golden tan. And he's just immaculate and shining. Yeah, I'm sure. I imagine he smells like seaweed and like sweat because he's just outside all the time, half naked and
Yeah.
in the sun, getting all crispy. I hope he's wearing sunscreen.
Yeah.
I do.
yeah,
Y'all
so-
should all be wearing sunscreen, quite honestly. This is another lesson. Please wear sunscreen. I care about you and your skin. Please wear sunscreen. Especially if y'all are not in your house all the time like I am. If y'all are gallivanting around town, if you're going out in the sun, wear sunscreen. Please, 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 please.
All right, Hailey. I don't know if we can watch this whole video. It's going to check out on the really high-end side, going even higher than Jason Momoa.
Okay. Oh, wow. Higher than Jason Momoa? With his 750K van?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
This is a motorhome, so it's not quite the same.
Oh my, that's a tour bus. What are you talking about?
So we just checked out a $1.2 million. I mean, it is like an RV or tour bus. It's gigantic.
Yeah, it's basically a tour bus. Now, this I could get down with. Not for years,
Yeah.
not forever. I could see a few months.
Yeah.
It's still a small space.
Mm-hmm.
That toilet and bathroom I would hate. The shower I would hate. But I could make do
Yeah.
for a few months. Again, like, there's not a lot of storage space. You couldn't really have your stuff.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone really living out of this. If you've got this much money for a however many $1 million tour bus, you're just doing some basic traveling and you don't want to be around the regular folks.
Yeah.
And then you're going back to your mansion after this. This is not something you're keeping forever and living on it from. This is more my style, though.
Yeah.
It has a little garage for a tiny car inside it. And y'all got to have an extra car because this thing is massive. It's massive. It looks like a stormtrooper. It's basically a blimp on the street. Really cool. Lots of lighting. But yeah, it's just the shower is still small. They had the skinny man go stand in it to show you how big it is. But actually, it's very small.
Yeah.
Even for the skinny man, I feel like it's kind of small. It's nice for what it is. I mean, it had a lot of cool features.
Yeah.
For whatever $1 million, it's pretty nice.
$1.2 million.
I'm sure it's nicer than most apartments in New York. Like just tiny little apartments that are so expensive but are hardly like my shithole apartment in Boston.
Oh, yeah.
It was, let's see, what was it at that time? $1,200 a month. It was a 1-bedroom I shared with 2 other people. We had this bathroom that the sewer would back up into it. It was cockroach infested. And that was the best we could do, man. It was so expensive back then.
Yeah.
This is 2000. We were scraping by just to get that. And look, I'm glad I moved there. I'm glad I lived there. It was one of the best things I ever did for myself. But that was a shithole apartment.
A quick show you some pictures. This is from Vanlife Festival.
Oh, wow. There's a festival?
22.
They all get together?
Yup.
Oh, Lord.
So these are some of the actual vehicles for people.
I like the lighting. There's some Back to the Future lighting underneath this van.
Yeah, that's a
The lighting's way cooler than the van.
Yeah.
There's a hippie van, one of them Beach Boys vans. Oh, that one's there's a teeny little short van.
I don't even know what kind that is.
How are you living in that, y'all?
Weird old, another V-dub.
And that's so many windows. I need privacy.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the cons. Is,
you're out there. You're living out there.
Yeah, you can hear people talking outside.
Mm-hmm.
They can hear you inside.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, being romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can be an issue for sure.
Look, people are going to cool places in these vans. They're doing crazy things, like painting them like a cow. Y'all are doing all kinds of stuff. You're personalizing it. That's cool. I'm happy for you if you're happy living this lifestyle. It is just not for me. But you've done cool things. You're decorating. You're using light. You're making cute spaces in your vans.
Yeah,
I'm seeing some plaid here. I'm seeing a cute little kitchenette.
Yeah, some of these do look cute. It's just, I don't know how you're going to live in that.
I feel like the layout is so important.
Yeah.
The use of space is so important. You really got to put a lot of thought into it in planning out this space to make it truly livable. I like the innovation, though. I like when there's attention to detail. I like when it's thought out, when all of the space is used and there's not anything that's wasted. That I can get behind because that to me is, yes, that's organization, that's thought, that's effort. I like that about it. And again, some of these I could be like, okay, I can make it work for a week. After that, no.
See, that sounds like we could do this for a week. Hailey's ready to do it for a week.
I didn't say I was ready to do it for a week. I just said I could make it work for a week. And where are you getting a van that we'd be living out of?
You can rent them.
All pimped out like this?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd want to see what it looked like first. I'm not agreeing to anything until I see what it looks like first. And you better have a hotel as backup because I'm going to need a good shower.
I feel like a lot of these pictures are like, they don't have all their shit in it when they took these pictures.
Yeah, see, I want to see it with the shit in it. What kind of room are you actually working with when your shit is in there?
Yeah.
Because, y'all, I don't want to live like a lost boy. I just don't want to. Y'all, Sean didn't laugh because he thought I meant the vampires.
Yeah, I thought
and
the vampire
not the
Lost
fucking
Boys.
Peter Pan Lost Boys. I'm talking living on an island in a tree, goofing off, turning into donkeys, Lost Boys. Not vampires. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Jeez,
I was like,
Louise.
oh, you gotta worry about being hunted by Corey Feldman and...
No.
So, yeah, of course the cons, having little space.
Yeah?
This was kind of challenging housework, but I guess that's true because I'm...
How are you cleaning in that toilet box?
Yeah. And doing your dishes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to have limited water on what you can bring.
Where do you keep your cleaning supplies?
Yeah.
Do you stop at the laundromat?
Experiencing breakdowns or accidents.
Are you know getting stuck in a small town where everybody thinks you're a stranger and you're
Mm-hmm.
suddenly some kind of weirdo that they're hunting down? You know what I mean? That's what I'd be worried about. I'm going to get myself caught in some kind of dramatic series or movie that I do not want to be involved in.
Hey there, stranger.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't even take into consideration what if the person who's in this van is a person of color and they get pulled over or have some kind of issue in a town that ain't so nice to people of color.
Yeah.
That's something that people really do have to worry about. Even now, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
In just traveling and just taking a road trip. People of color have to take extra precautions and prepare to make sure that they're stopping in places where their safety is going to be the first of their considerations. Sorry, Finn got mad at Dobby, who's they're all walking around.
I'm glad you brought that up because I actually have another short video on a person of color doing this type of lifestyle.
Oh man, okay. Representation is important, so it's good to see all kinds of people. Like I think a majority of the people that I follow who live in a van, which aren't many, but they're plus size people who live in a van. Because that again to me was like, how are you doing this?
Yeah, yeah. We just watched a little YouTube short video of life on the road as a black woman.
Yes, so she is a black woman. She did bring that up that if she goes to somewhere she doesn't feel safe, then she leaves.
Yep.
And she's mindful of that. But she doesn't, of course, let that stop her from living her life. She did also bring up, I thought was a great point, is that she feels like the freedom of this lifestyle is helping her actually live a very full life. You know, she's not stuck somewhere in a job she hates, in a
Sure.
life that she hates, just doing the same bullshit every day. She feels alive. This is her living her fullest life,
Yeah.
traveling around and just doing what she wants to do. That I can totally understand, you know, that freedom and that ability. She also brought up this idea of being in the hamster wheel and just living to get a paycheck and pay bills and go through this life. That's not how anyone really wants to live. It's how we've been forced to live by all of the bullshit of our society. And more people are finding ways to not live that way. And van life is one of those options.
Yeah.
And that's intriguing. That's interesting. I am all for that because I do think that it would be nice if we all had more full lives that we really enjoyed living, that weren't just about we've got to work some bullshit job or otherwise we're just going to die because we can't make our ends meet. We can't pay the bills. We can't get food. That's no way for anyone to live. That's fucking trauma. That's stressful. And that's what the world is doing to everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so having some kind of option where that doesn't have to be your thing, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do it. Get out. See things. Again, I think from my perspective, I've seen so much of the U.S., at least from a very early age, because I did have to move, that it's hard for me to imagine what it's like to be someone who's only lived in one place their whole lives.
Yeah.
And how, like, stifling that must feel, that this, living in a van, is freedom to you
Yeah.
and something amazing to you that you get to see everywhere. And in that, I'm really glad that I moved around a lot as a kid because I did get to see a lot of really interesting and fantastic things, even if it was for a shitty reason.
Yeah.
But because of that, I also knew so much more about life and people and the US, a lot more than my peers.
Yeah.
I knew how to spell the names of states, and most people in my graduating class did not know how to spell things like Massachusetts. It's not that hard.
That might be falling onto the battleground education system, but
That's very possible. I moved to some country-ass bumpkin town. Look, that's what Battleground used to be. Are they still that way? Probably. And it was tough. I didn't like it.
like with her story, she was worried about the bills that her and her ex-husband were having, and she was trying to have more of a minimalistic life and cut costs. She was looking at tiny homes, and then she saw the van life, and she said it like just like a light turned on.
And I will say, I feel like travel is something that does really teach you about yourself
Mm-hmm.
very quickly. There's always going to be things that go wrong. You have to adapt. You have to make choices. You have to know yourself and what you want. There's always different things that happen or people you meet that sort of push you out of your comfort zone where you have to make certain choices or try new things. And you always learn something about yourself. I feel like every trip I've ever been on, even if I don't talk to that many other people and I just have time with myself, I learned something new about me.
Yeah.
Or the other person I'm traveling with, because traveling with someone is you learn a lot pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, another con, which of course we know, adapting to a toilet and shower situation in the van. It sounds like a lot of people get a membership to 24-hour fitness or something, like a nationwide type of
Oh,
place.
really?
Yeah, like a nationwide type of gym.
And that's when they go shower and
Yep.
stuff? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
Okay. Is that part of the $1,200 a month?
Mm-hmm. That's one of the
Okay,
things you got to
budget?
factor
All
in.
right. Oh, that's interesting.
Experiencing parking problems.
Oh, yeah. Like that tour bus. I don't know where you're parking that thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of weird stuff, like it's illegal. You can't just go to a parking lot and park there because a parking lot's a private, so you're essentially trespassing. They can call the cops on you, whatever they want. Parking on some like suburban street, people might not like that and they'll call the cops and stuff. And there's some where it gets really tricky is, say, you like to have an alcoholic beverage or you like to get high or something. Depending on the state, just being in the car while inebriated will get you a DUI.
Oh, damn.
You don't even have to have,
You don't have to turn it on or
yeah,
anything.
in some states, literally, if you're sleeping in the trunk, you can still get a DUI.
Oh my God. What if
Yeah.
you're kidnapped when you're drunk? You're put in the trunk. They leave the car somewhere. The police get called. They come. They find you in the trunk. You're tied up. You're drunk. You're still in the trunk of a car. Do they then still give you a DUI even though you're fucking kidnapped? That ain't right.
Your job opportunities are pretty limited. Some people do seasonal work and stuff. And then, yeah, lack of privacy, of course. And then there's this one couple, they put some horror stories on their van lifing. Holy, oh my God. They were doing van lifing in South America. His wife was going on an Amazon cruise with her mom. So he was going to drive to go up Machu Picchu. And
You can't do that in a van.
on that trip, he got food poisoning. And he's alone, so he's getting feverish, and he's driving still. And then on the way to Machu Picchu, it's a sacred place. There's a bunch of protesters shutting down the roads.
Oh, no.
Like in and out. He gets to Machu Picchu. I think he's still sick. And he climbs up and he gets up there, I don't know, late in the day. And is able to spend a little bit of time there taking some pictures. Even then, see, you get diarrhea, you dehydrate, you can only carry so much water in what you have. And he has to like go down at night, climb down from Machu Picchu in the dark.
Oh my God.
And he's got to like get back. And then apparently like the protests shut down everything. The protesters, they shut down all the roads in and out of Machu Picchu. He tried going down dirt roads, all kinds of stuff to try and get out of there. He couldn't. He had to go to some place where he could park it and pay for parking, and took a train to go meet his wife so they could come back later after all the protests had cleared. I don't know, days or weeks later.
Oh my God.
They get to their car. Well, he didn't know it, but the protesters that he'd encountered on the roads had poked holes in his tires. And so when they got to the thing, two of his tires were completely flat.
Oh my gosh.
They got one spare on. They were able to get the other tire going enough to get to a station. And the person there said they fixed the tires. They didn't fix all the holes, and they got down the road, and one of the tires went flat again. They had to put their spare on, all this kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And you're dealing with all of this, and like, you've been sick. If you search like van life robbery, there's all kinds of videos of people
Oh
like
my
getting broken
God.
into while they're sleeping in their van, or when they've been away on a hike. You're living in this van, all your shit's in this van.
I hate leaving the vehicle unattended when my suitcase is in the back.
Yeah.
So my whole life is in a van? Jeez, I wouldn't leave it out of my sight. But it sounds like you can still be sleeping in it and people still rob you.
Yep.
Y'all be careful out there.
At one point, the wife got dengue fever. You don't necessarily even know what you have, and you gotta drive yourself to the hospital? How's that gonna work? You break your ankle out hiking or something, you manage to get back, but now you gotta drive yourself to the hospital?
Sean, this is my brain all the time. This is what anxiety is like. I'm planning for the worst all the fucking time. So yeah, this is every day for me. I get it. I know. I've thought about this. This is why I don't want to live in a fucking van. Don't come to me with your van life is scary, because I know. I've already thought about it. It's not for me. I don't want to have to resort to that. So I get it, because that's me every day. When I leave the house, I wonder all the things that I could possibly wonder. Y'all know what it is. Y'all have anxiety too. Don't come at me like I'm the only one. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Worry every fucking time I leave the house. I'm planning for the worst. That's why my purse is so goddamn heavy. I got mints for all of y'all. I got mints. I got napkins for your nasty ass children's hands. I got anti-bac for days. I got Band-Aids. I've got pads. I got things you can wipe your ass with. I've got Tylenol. I've got 7 lip products. Yes. I have things to blot my oily face with. I've got my weed. I've got my wallet. I got my glasses. I have some earplugs because, look, there's stuff for everybody in there. I try to keep some snacks in case people I'm with get hungry. That's why people would tell me, oh, you'd be such a good mom. Why don't you have kids? You'd be such a good mom. And I was like, being prepared is not the thing that makes you the best mom. That's just called anxiety and trauma. All right. I'm prepared for the worst at all times. That doesn't make me a good mom. It always irritated me. Like, how is being responsible the thing that makes me supposed to be a good mom and the reason I should have kids? It's the reason I don't have kids. So, to live a life well lived, there's always going to be some shit once in a while.
True.
Bird shit on your head. Not me, thankfully, so far, knock on wood. That's why I always try to wear a hat if I know I'm going to be under birds for an extended period of time. Because I don't want shit in my hair, y'all.
I always wonder when we're leaving the house and you're like, are we going to spend any extended time underneath birds?
It's if I know I need to bring my hat or not. See, I gotta be prepared. You never know when shit is going to rain from the sky. If you're prepared, hey, it's not as stressful. That's the anxiety preparing me. So I'm ready in times of need. So I can help you when you freak out because you're not prepared for it. You haven't mentally or physically prepared yourself for the possibility of everything going wrong and the world burning around you. I've prepared for that. So I'm going to be the one swooping in and saying, Sean, come on, let's go. I'm going to be your hero because I'm prepared.
Would you be my hero, baby?
Okay, Enrique. Well, we should probably wrap this up. I just want to say, if anybody has lived #vanlife for any length of time, I'd love to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
I have lots of questions, obviously. I'd love to hear exciting stories, crazy stories, examples of a day in the life. I'm interested to know what you've got to say, why you liked it, why you stopped, why you keep doing it, whatever it is. Please reach out to us and let us know if you'd like to talk about van life.
Love to hear your best day and your worst day.
Yeah. And if you don't want to be on the podcast, but you want to send in something, you can email us. You can send a voice message. You can do a voice recording and then email it to us. There's so many different ways now. Technology's amazing, you guys. So you have different ways of sending in your stories, and I'd love to hear them. All right, you guys, I hate to say goodbye, but Dobby loves to watch you go because he's hungry and he wants me to say goodbye. Bye!
Bye, y'all.